help move the needle and guide the equation of us knowing exactly what to do and cover the fact that women don't have to take my word for it. There's a female expert that's way smarter than me that's preaching the same thing. And then I can just say, look, I'm an acolyte of the expert to be an expert myself. This is why and this is how. So she's a big proponent of women not fasting. A lot of her research is done on women's nutrition and women's activity. She gets into hormones a little bit, but whereas Rachel Rubin's really the hormone expert, Stacey Sims is the feeding and training expert. So that's kind of the two pillars that we have to build a woman's healthy program and improve her outcome. This is such a significant sea change in our industry, what she's studying, because when I was going through exercise physiology at UT, it was the late 90s, so 96 through 2000. Excuse me, I know how old I am. But there was none of this research done on women. So in my undergrad senior classes, doing all of our studies in physiology and nutrition and training, half, if not more than half, my class was female, which seemed really progressive for the time. I had more women in a lot of those physiology classes than men. We went off to do different things. A lot of women went into occupational therapy, physical therapy, PA, medical services, but we were all studying the same exercise phys and doing the same research and participating in the same studies. And then at the end, we had this amalgamation of data, these giant reams of data, and we took all the women's data and we pushed it off to the side and we published the male data. And so a couple of the girls in the class were like, whoa, like WTF, like I'm Gen X, you don't treat women like this isn't cool. And the professor was like, look, the lead researcher was like, we're really sorry, but we have no way to account statistically for your fluctuation of hormones on your cycle. So depending on when we test you, if we tested you high, we get a different number. If we test you low, we get a different wattage number. We can't include that in the study. We don't know how to coach people. So we're just gonna leave that out and we're just gonna teach everybody how to coach men. So when we got out with this 4-year degree and then all this advanced training, we got better and better and better and better at coaching dudes. I already know how to coach a guy. I'm a guy. I've been coaching myself my whole life. I needed that piece and we didn't get it. And we didn't realize till my clients got into their late 30s, late 40s, 70s, how detrimental that was to my expertise and her outcome if I didn't know how to do it. So luckily, 15 or so years ago, Stacey Sims and a couple of other top female physiologists hit the scene and teach us a better way to do it. But even now, at undergrad programs at UT, less than 2% of all studies at colleges are done on female-only athletes, and she's doing all of it.
Question, that's kind of mind-blowing, even still, only 2%. The fluctuations you showed in women's cycles versus the men's, is the idea to get women's fluctuations less so, or are we celebrating the fluctuations because that's what we're complicated and our hormones are just trying to keep that same model, or what is it? It
depends on your phase of life. If you're pre-perimenopausal, you celebrate your fluctuation and what makes you a woman.
Okay.
It's a unique concept that you can do crazy things on one day and feel different another day, and it's one of the cool things that makes us as men and women so different and help to balance each other out. And if you're in perimenopause, you have to be patient and understand that the 6-dimensional fluctuations are crazy for a period of years, dealt more so with proper training and hormones to balance those out. Then you'll get the fluctuations back to quasi-normal or what you were used to. And in menopause, whereas if you would low tranche baseline, in menopause we try to baseline you at a steady level. So no more fluctuations in menopause. We want to hold your levels steady, especially once. It's hard if you have an oophorectomy, then you're at baseline because your ovaries aren't there. But once your ovaries go kaput, takes a number of years. So when they're finally gassed out or one's still working, you'll have fluctuations. That's what my wife will deal with probably for the next 10 or 15 years. She had a hysterectomy, but they left her ovaries. I don't know if we would have done that again, knowing what we know now, but so she's all over the place. So she's trying to take hormones and stabilize, but it's a dance. It's like whack-a-mole.
So we have to increase our hormones, sorry you guys, last question, increase our hormones that we're taking in order to accommodate the
decline, correct.
The decline,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then we stay even keel.
You stay even keel.
Once you're in menopause.
If you can ever say that women are ever even keel, right? I mean, it's like,
Yeah, right. Well, like I'm almost 70
yeah.
and very post
Sure.
menopausal. Is there any point? I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm probably at the no hormones.
I mean, it depends. It depends on
Bring them
symptoms.
up
If you start dating an 18-year-old and you need great prowess, right? It just depends on what you need out of your functional quality of life.
Sleep.
So if you're not sleeping, there's a big feeding hack for you that we'll get into as far as how you manipulate complex carbohydrates at night and how you eat them. Caffeine manipulation, diet manipulation, training manipulations. If all of those methodologies, if all my physiology tricks don't work, then yeah, 50 mgs a day of progesterone will knock you flat and you'll sleep like a baby. So it's an option to consider. And it's all about relative risk balance and options, right? So she's, again, for those of us who in the industry who think that the Peter Attia, Andrew Huberman crowd, like the hyper-masculine, toxic, tech bro, longevity crowd is kind of douchey and lame, I totally get that argument. They've gotten a lot of that feedback, even from us as male coaches. Like, hey man, there are female experts in the industry, you're not talking to any of them. You got dude after dude talking about penises and testosterone and training and cycling. Can you put some women experts on so we can learn how to coach women? And they're starting to do it, which is great. So they're listening to the feedback. So Stacy Sims has been on Diary to CEO, she's been on Tia, she's been on Huberman. There's a lot of good content out there that I highly recommend you go check out. I just want to show one real quick clip of her talking about fasting in particular as a woman gets into perimenopause.
And it gets worse as you get older, because we're seeing as women are getting into perimenopause, which is in their 40s, and we have more fluctuation of those hormones and an increase in baseline cortisol anyway. Then when you look at fasted training, it increases that cortisol drive and that sympathetic drive. And because it's a point where you really need to polarize your training to get any kind of body composition change, not having any fuel before high intensity workout puts them in moderate intensity. They just can't hit the intensities they need to. Same with resistance training, like you go.
So, what she's talking about there, when she says polarized training, which I have a slightly different model, we'll get into it. Women have to hit a certain intensity level that's very, very hard to achieve to get maximum output, both from an aesthetic, physiological look the way I want to look standpoint, as well as athletic performance standpoint. Whereas men with stable testosterone can go to the gym and Nancy around and not put in full effort and still respond. Men can do too much cardio and bike too much and they'll still be fine, they'll be fit, they can overtrain because there are immense levels of testosterone and estrogen balance allow them to do that. Women cannot. And the older she gets, the more likely it is that she's gonna have problems if she tries to train like him. Because what happens in Stacy's clinic and in my clinic, we see it every single day. A woman comes in, or they come in as a couple, and she says, look, this son of a bitch is fasting, he's calorically restricting, he's overtraining, and he looks great. He's got erections all the time, he sleeps great, he's performing on the mountain, he's lean, his testosterone's up. What the hell, I try to do that, I feel terrible, I'm gaining weight, and that's what she's talking about. If she calorically restricts, if she fasts, her cortisol goes up, and her estrogen and testosterone go down. She has the opposite effect that he does. Evolutionary reasons, who was in the cave, who was hunting, who was dragging, I mean, whatever the reason for that is, that's how our bodies respond. So I, as coach, have to show her how to train correctly to optimize her outcome. And that gets us to meal timing. So like I said, I'm less concerned about what she eats than when she eats it. And it's so much more important for her than it is for him that, I mean, this could be an entire presentation in itself. If I'm coaching him, this is a perfect time of year to have this picture up. If I'm coaching him, I can just sign off, send him a plan, and walk away. His meal feeding template is Neolithic preschool simple. He can do whatever he wants. He can get up and work out early, or he can work out late. He can get in the middle of the night and work out. It doesn't matter. His testosterone is flat, so it doesn't matter when he trains or when he eats. So he can fast all the way through his workout, all the way through lunch, and then as long as he eats enough protein during these 3 meals, which is hard if he's fasting, he'll be fine. And his testosterone will stay high, he'll respond. If she eats like that, it's a disaster. Her performance goes down, her energy goes down, her fat-free mass starts to go down, her body fat starts to go up. She's really upset. And then young male coaches at some boot camp or some high intensity training center will tell her, you're just not working hard enough, you gotta look at your macronutrients, you gotta do more cardio. And then it makes it worse, and she's in this vicious downward cycle. That's her feeding plan. It looks like the comparison of the hormone charts, right? So
Can you read that, please?
what's that?
Can you read that? It's the
Yeah,
turquoise. It's
she
fine.
bar none, sorry, this doesn't play unless it's on a bigger screen, but she bar none, no stops, has to have 15 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking up. Doesn't matter where she is in the world, what she's doing, she's gotta have it. I don't care how she gets it, I don't care where it comes from, she's gotta have that.
Why?
So here's what happens, so you and I wake up, like my wife and I, we wake up, and cortisol is what wakes you up in the morning, right? We all think it's caffeine, but when you wake up and you drink coffee because it spikes cortisol, that's what makes you wake up. So if you get cortisol naturally, you don't need coffee. The problem is, I wake up, and as soon as my cortisol has woken me up, it levels off and starts to drop, and I'm ready to go. And my wife wakes up, and her cortisol keeps climbing and climbing and climbing until she eats 15 grams of protein, and then it comes down. So if she doesn't eat, she's gonna have high cortisol all morning until she does. She's gonna be miserable. Flush with cortisol, she's stressed, she has a panic attack. Women go to their doctor with panic attacks, right? It's because their cortisol's high, because they're not eating protein. Doctor gives them anti-anxiety medication or sleeping.
Would a workout lower her,
Sorry, go ahead.
would a workout lower her cortisol?
Yes,
So she.
but not if it's fasted. It'll make it worse.
Okay.
That's what Stacy's talking about. So if you train, if I train, my cortisol's low anyway. It'll go back down. But if she trains, it keeps going back up.
How important is the half hour? You know, like there's all the,
There's a range.
there's, you know,
There's a range.
half hour after you wake up and then half hour after you work out, but
Yeah.
like by the time you shower and blow dry your hair
Oh,
and
yeah.
walk out the door, it's been more than
I
half
say
an
goal,
hour.
so she gets, I mean, I'm generous, she gets 45 minutes after she works out. She's got plenty of time. No, I use the half hour as a guide.
I'm just wondering, cause you know, I've heard that a lot. And
I tell her if you need to eat protein whenever you want your cortisol to come down. If you don't want your cortisol to come down to 3 in the afternoon, then don't eat protein. But if you want it to come back down after you're awake, eat as soon as you get out of bed or within 30 minutes. But it's individual, right? These are just guidelines. I want to find out what works best for her and kind of hack it to find something that's practical for her lifestyle. Because if she won't do this, it doesn't matter how good my expertise is, I gotta find something she'll actually do.
What is PF?
So these are her macronutrients. So in the morning,
Protein.
she's gotta have protein, fat, she has got to have carbohydrate with that first feeding, especially if she's gonna do some sort of extended cardiovascular training. We'll get more into the details of training, but if she's gonna do high intensity HIIT, strength training, she can get away with protein. If she's gonna go for a bike ride, run the mountain, ski, she's gotta have carbohydrates.
So what does that look like?
So let's say it's two eggs, avocado, and maybe some yogurt and paleo granola, yogurt and nut granola, something like that, or yogurt, berries. It's way more food than you ever thought it was. It's a lot of
Cottage
food.
cheese and toast?
Absolutely not. It's
Cottage cheese?
that's the late night meal. So I wouldn't do. It's got to be a huge protein feeding and a big fat feeding and a low carbohydrate feeding. So I'd say 15 grams of protein minimum, maybe 15, 20 grams of fat, and up to 30 grams of carbohydrates, but toast is such a simple carbohydrate, it's gonna spike your blood sugar. I'd want it to be something like nuts, seeds, berries, something with a lot more fiber in it and a lot more fat.
Are you,
Yeah,
You said 15 grams of protein, 15 of fat?
yeah, I'd say 15 protein, 15 fat, up to 30 grams of carbohydrate. I mean, carbohydrate sources I would want, the avocado, which also has the fat in it, nuts, seeds, that sort of thing in the morning. If she'll do a smoothie here, it makes it so much easier because I can hack the biochemistry really simply. If she doesn't like smoothies, we gotta get a little fancy. And then she can manipulate her carbohydrate intake during the day. She doesn't have to eat carbs during the day if she doesn't want to, and I totally get it. She might even feel better without carbohydrates, with less brain fog, because she's already had carbs in the morning. If she hasn't had carbs in the morning, she better eat them at some point during the day, because she's not gonna feel good. And then here's the big kicker that no woman likes, but I have to get them to change. That meal at dinner, 2-3 hours before bedtime, she's gotta have carbohydrates at that meal. What is every single woman coached?
No carbs.
No carbs. No carbs all day, no carbs at night. If you wanna lose weight, no carbs at night. Carbs at night make you fat, they make you gain weight.
wait, I thought you were anti-carb as a Peter Attia disciple.
Oh, correct. I mean, Peter T is very paleo keto, works great for men.
Oh.
Peter T has got a great 10. He's got a great 10 square program in Austin. For $75,000 a year, you can go in. They'll test all your metrics and give you a quarter workout. And you go back and get your DEXA scan. It's great. It'd be super fun to do. I used to do it, but I've had a lot of clients go do it. It's great. I've had women go do it. Like, dude, that place is like a frat house. Get me the hell out of there. It's not designed for women in mind. Nothing is, and that's why this is such a key change. So if she has carbohydrates at night, complex carbohydrates, sweet potato, green leafy vegetables, right? We'll even go a little bit of brown rice, maybe I prefer quinoa, right? But if she'll manipulate healthy carbs at night, her cortisol levels stay low during the middle of the night. Why does she wake up during menopause? Because her cortisol is spiking in the middle of the night. It's not supposed to. So she can take progesterone to keep that down, or she can eat carbohydrates before bed and do it that way, or both.
I mean,
Yeah.
like at 9 to 10 o'clock before bed, or 7 p.m. before?
7 p.m. before bed. I really want her to be like empty gastric system so she can heal overnight. But if she went through dinner and she had a paleo dinner and she forgot to eat her carbs and she has like some nuts or something before bed, she's still gonna probably have a better outcome. Yeah, Scott.
You've touched on something that touches on something I just learned in the last couple of years. I always thought carbs meant bread, pasta, grain, potatoes. A lot of people don't realize vegetables are carbs.
Correct. I'd much rather any of us get it from green leafy vegetables, lentils, legumes, beans. Those aren't necessarily sexy, fun foods to eat, but they're so healthy. If she'll do that, she'll feel so much better. I'd love her to do.
protein.
They do, and fiber, and I'd love her to do this 80% of the time, and then 20% of the time, chocolate, heroin, whiskey, whatever she likes for fun. I don't want anybody to be an ascetic monk. I don't want her to suffer. She's suffering bad enough. I want her to have a better outcome and enjoy life.
What's in a smoothie that you think is good?
I love tofu in smoothies, right? As psychosomatically opposed to as well for so many years. I love tofu with the fiber, with the protein. It makes the smoothie creamy. I love avocados, colostrum, collagen, whey protein, vegan protein, whatever she's into. I can do chia seed, flaxseed. I can put things in a protein, in a protein smoothie that no one would ever sit down and eat on a table. They'd look at those and be like, oh my God. Like try to eat a tablespoon of chia seeds, you'll die. No one wants to do that. But they'll all do it in a smoothie. I use a powder base. I like whey protein because it's so bioavailable, it's so easily digested. Some women don't digest whey protein, and women's digestion will change as it fluctuates. Some women prefer to be vegan, so we just find them a good protein option that they can tolerate. Protein choice is really more about what do you tolerate and how good do you feel, and let's stick with that.
Are you familiar with Oregon? There's like a plant-based.
Is it pea? Pea protein? Yeah. See, some women, there's too much like retro fiber in that. Some women can't digest that, but if they can, it's great. I'm really more concerned about what she can digest and what she feels good on. If I just look at protein, it simplifies it a little bit. So if my wife and I are working out at the same time, she's got to have her 15 grams before her workout, right? Hopefully 30 minutes after she wakes up. What she does is, I'll get up and make both our smoothies, and our smoothies are completely different because hers is like 600 calories and mine is like 6,000 calories, right? Because we're very different. But I'll make us both smoothies. She'll drink, hers has about 35 grams of protein in it. She'll drink half of hers on the way to work, and then she'll work out or whatever and drink the other halfway. So then it's so easy, it's a few gulps and she's done. My male client can get up and just fast train as hard as he wants. This is the after effect. I give her 45 minutes, she's gotta have another 35 grams. If we don't pre-feed this aggressively, she's never gonna get there by the end of the day. She needs a gram per pound. So let's say we have you weigh 125 pounds, 150 pounds, whatever you wanna weigh. Let's say it's 125 pounds. 125 grams of protein is an impossible number. I weigh 170 pounds. I cannot possibly eat 170 grams of protein. That's my goal. And as I get older, and as you get older, we become less efficient at digesting the protein that we are eating, so that number goes up. So I can't even get 170, and now I gotta start eating more. It's a challenge, but that's why we gotta preload early in the day. He can do it fasting. He's got 4 hours. If I give him 20 grams of protein, within 4 hours, he'll maintain all of his fat-free muscle tone building from this workout.
So you recommend having more protein
within 30 minutes after work.
Oh, if she'll do it, do it. If she'll do 30 here, I love it.
Sounds
If she
like that
tolerates
dog
it.
training. Will you?
You just gotta be consistent, you know, and if she doesn't want to, then we work at it. I try to find what will work for her.
Did you, I missed I think you might have just said how many grams per day for a woman, I heard pound per pound for a
Yeah,
man.
1 gram for every pound you
So
weigh, you got 1
men and
gram.
women is the same.
Same.
Men and women are the same, just the weight varies.
Just their weight varies, and it goes up as you get older because you don't digest it as well. So when I was 25 years old, if I ate 100 grams of protein, I digest 100 grams of protein. Now at 48, I probably digest 95, hopefully more, but it's less. When I'm 70, I might digest 65, 70 grams. So I gotta eat more.
What happens to that other?
It just excrete it, you just don't digest it. Things slow down, your body's not as good, maybe you have your mucosal lining, your intestines gets thinner, there's a lot of factors involved. People eat less and less as they age, right? We're more concerned about their weight being too low over the age of 75. And this is a big problem. This is why they get so sick, because they don't have enough protein. They don't get enough calories, period.
To that smoothie, I mean, you mentioned tofu, seeds, whey, whatever. Can fruit be in there?
Totally, I like berries because they're lower glycemic index. Like they won't give her the insulin spike that like a banana or a date would. There's nothing wrong with a banana or a date, but they are sugarier foods. So she might feel better with her bananas and dates later in the day and her slower burning, like less insulin spiking carbohydrates early in the morning. Because if she's just gonna lift weights here, she's fine with just protein. She'll feel okay. But if she's got a long mountain bike ride, if she's got a race, if she's got a big ski day, she's got to have carbs with it, or she's not going to have the energy. Like Stacy was saying, she's not going to be able to hit the optimal output of intensity that she has to hit. If I need her at 572 watts on the rowing machine for this workout, no way she's going to hit it without feeding. She's going to bust her ass trying to get it. She's going to be really frustrated. She's going to be batting 450 watts. She won't hit it. So her body won't change, her muscles won't grow, cortisol go up. And no matter what people try to do to add protein to the foods that you eat, Khloe Kardashian feeding you protein-infused popcorn is not going to get you there. Like it has to be whole food. It has to be nutrient dense. I really don't like supplementation if we can get away with it, but protein I have to give because I myself I can't eat 6 chicken breasts a day. I won't do it. And that's another one of Stacy Sims' big adages is that cardio at heart will increase your body weight. I've never trained a single woman for a marathon that didn't gain weight. She'll lose weight for a period of time, and by the time she's done training, she's heavier than when she started.
They're so tiny.
Or she's injured, right? And then she can't train, period.
That's when you lose weight.
You lose weight. And all the weight loss comes from her muscle mass.
Yeah.
So her metabolic rate goes down. So then she gets towards the end of training, her volume comes down, she starts tapering, she starts putting on weight, she runs a race, she gets an injury or not, her appetite stayed the same, her muscle tone is lower, her metabolism is lower, and she starts gaining weight like crazy. Because this is what happens to her body. She overtrains, she overcardios, she starts to get hungry, she wants to feed that extra calorie burn, now she's calorically restricted. If she'll feed like I want her to, she'll overeat, especially if she's marathon training or it's a big mountain bike season. She starts gaining weight, now her inflammation's going up and then she gets an injury. And now we gotta go to PT, we're inactivated, but we're still hungry and we're still eating and we're gaining more weight and we're more inflammation. So again, we're back to inflammation being the biggest risk factor as women age for all of those cardiovascular and Alzheimer's symptoms. This is what she's doing, right? She's frying her tissue all the way through this cycle of training harder and harder. And the only thing that cools her down is just cessation of training with injury and physical therapy. Yeah.
You're not suggesting not to do cardio though.
No, but your cardio looks very different than you think it does.
Yeah.
And anything you're doing over 20 minutes, you should stop, unless it's fun.
So how do I train for the marathon?
Exactly. So my what are you doing? You're doing 100 miles coming up? Well, that's way too far, but no man is gonna tell a woman not to do a race. So if I was training for that race, what does your longest run go up to in
Well, to
volume?
be fair, we're not running 100 miles straight. We're running.
It's 4 days or something like that?
Yeah, so it's 25 miles a day for
A
3
day.
days,
Okay.
and then a shorter day at the end. But, and I plan to probably hike most of it,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah.
Doing
Okay.
the stand-up thing.
No, I've done that in the past, but this is we're just running the middle fork.
I mean, I've had women do ultras, do hotter than hell 100 out in the Mojave Desert. I mean, I'm not gonna tell a woman she can't do what she wants to do. That's a non-starter. I learned that a long time ago. So my job as a coach is to find a way for her to do it as safely and as injury-free as possible. So marathon training, first of all, like if you're training for just the 26 miles, I would never have you run in your entire training program more than 13 as your max run. Hopefully even less if you'll give me less, so that this doesn't happen. Because I would rather you have slightly less aerobic fitness and way more injury-freeness.
Okay, but Sam, even 13 miles is more, I mean, 20 minutes, that's just nothing for anyone
Correct.
here. None of us
Totally.
does, only
It's
20
still
minutes.
it's way too much. You should never do it. But most of the things in our life that are fun
Yeah.
are really shitty for us. They're bad for us. But it doesn't mean we're not gonna do them, but it means that if she's training with that kind of volume for that big a race, if I get her in the clinic, I'm not doing any more of that with her. I'm not gonna do anything high volume, medium intensity cardio. She's doing way too much of it as it is. I'm gonna train her in the poles. This is my high-low training model. This is proprietary, not just because Bridget Sanders link. I'm just kidding. You guys can take pictures, whatever. This is how Stacy Sims talks about polarized training. I just wanted a graphic that works easier in my brain. Here's how it works. Women have got to train with high intensity. That's the piece that most of them lack. But if they train with higher intensities, the risk of injury goes up. So the higher her intensity is, the smaller the circle, the less of it she does. And the lower intensity, the bigger the circle, the more of it she gets to do. These are athletes, right? It's not about has to do, they just want to do. They want to run 100 miles in a day or 100 miles in 4 days. But that exists right here. The fun piece is whatever your sport is, whatever your social exercise is. This is pickleball, mountain biking, ski season, ultra marathoning. That's fun. But I train here so that I can do that and not get hurt. And I don't have to give up fun as I age if I train appropriately. If I try to get better at running by running, I'm gonna get hurt.
So is cardio to you, or does cardio mean anaerobic? Like, what does that mean to you?
Yes.
Okay, so we can,
It'll be HIIT,
okay.
and it's gotta be less than 18 minutes. 18 minutes is your max, that's all you get, you gotta go home.
Okay, but the heart rate zones, like most athletes, especially in
Right.
Nordic skiing, do most of their training in the level 2 heart rate
Right.
zone, and intervals.
That's here,
at the
they'll
high-
be here, zone 2.
Yeah, and the high intensity anaerobic.
It works great. For the female athletes, she's gotta be up here.
Yeah, and that's when you do your
Totally.
intervals.
And 18 minutes is her max, and if she's gonna lift weights, 12 minutes is her max. If she loves lifting weights, which a lot of my women do, that's fine, but everything over 12 minutes goes here into fun. Now we're doing weights for fun, or for one particular performance goal, but my minimum maximum for her exists right here, 2 to 3 days a week.
And on that weight training, how do you know if you're hitting the intensity you need?
It's gotta be really, really heavy, and here's the caveat, it's gotta be heavy, heavy on your muscles and your tendons, and it cannot be heavy on your joints. So I have to manipulate how she loads her tissue. You'll get a lot of longevity speakers that will talk to you about how if you don't heavy squat, if you don't heavy deadlift, you're not gonna age well, it's total crap. You're just gonna blow out your back, you're gonna wear your hips out. I need to load her with heavy weights so that she doesn't get osteoporosis. So I have to load her skeletal system, but I gotta load her muscles more. So for example, I can have her heavy squat and take care of all of this. I can keep her from fracturing with osteoporosis. I can make sure she develops a good glute system, great hamstrings, great quads, tons of fat-free muscle mass, but she's gonna blow out her hip or blow out her back, tear the labrum in her hip. She's gonna be injured training that way, especially over 40 when her hormones are starting to go down. I cannot train her like a man or like a 25-year-old female athlete.
Isn't there also some kind of talk, I mean, the more you do cardio, it raises your cortisol too.
Yeah, any cardio you do, if she's doing more than 20 minutes, she's gotta be down here. It's gotta be so low and slow, it's gotta be, I'd say even below zone 2, like way low heart rate, super easy. This is walking the dog, brisk walk, up the mountain, easy mountain bike ride, like low and slow. She can do an extended amount of that, but once she gets into medium heart rate zones or it's moderate intensity, that's what she does for fun. In Austin, that's like F45 class, spin class, love cycle, CrossFit. On the mountain, that's like mountain bike, ski season, snow trekking, snow biking, which is some crazy crap you guys do up here that Ross took me out and damn near killed me. You can't coast on a snow bike. You stop pedaling the damn thing, it stops. which I learned the hard way. That's fun. It doesn't mean she can't do it. I'd really ask for once or twice a week, maybe 90-minute cap. If she's an elite athlete, I'm gonna have to give her more than that. But then I'm gonna have to manipulate her training in the studio or in the gym outside of that so she can train with more volume so that she's happy and I'm happy that she's not hurt. So that's really the consensus approach. And this training up here is what balances her hormones, and this training right here is what ruins them. It doesn't mean I want her to stop doing it, and she's an athlete, that's her, she wants to have fun. But if she does this in the absence of this correct training, she'll run her hormones down, she'll be hurt, she'll have to stop training, and then she gets 0, because she's hurt, yeah.
So what do you mean that ruins your hormones when you say that?
So these are the intensities that drive your cortisol up and your estrogen down. This is what women were traditionally trained to do. Get on the EFX, get on the Stairmaster, go for 45 minutes so you can be skinny. And their hormones go out of whack and they start gaining weight, so they do an hour. And then they do 90 minutes. And that's what we saw over and over and over again. And we didn't know any difference. Because if my guy was overweight, dude, get your ass on the treadmill until you're not. And it doesn't work for women.
But you're saying do only the fun stuff like mountain biking?
Yeah.
Why not 2 times a week? Like, I wanna do that every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Too much.
So maybe you get to do it every day, but maybe one of your mountain bike sessions is like a hill routine. Where I have you go out, you get to do like some crazy hill here, and I need you up at the top of it in less than 18 seconds and at a certain power wattage output, and you get to do that 5 or 6 times, but it takes less than 30 minutes. So you get to go mountain biking, but it's a very different intensity. And then another day, you get to go, you can go mountain biking as long as you want, but you have to stay under 135 beats a minute, because it's low and slow. And then later in the week, maybe you have a race, maybe you got a friend coming over that you want to impress. You can go out and go balls to the wall as much as you want, but that's your one that week, and then we got to recover. Because recovery becomes so much more important. If I don't bring her down here to recover, and we're only up here,
So can
we're
you
both
use
gonna
the
fail.
low as the recovery time? Or
Totally. This can be yoga, like
then
mat
that can be a day
Pilates,
off.
pliability work. It could be a day off,
But I mean,
total recovery.
is a day off equivalent to a low?
Yeah.
So,
This would be 0 up to like zone 2.
yeah.
Low zone 2.
And
Yeah.
do you say 135 is your max? Cause I feel like
It
135
just
for me is
depends.
fairly high.
Depends on your age, yeah. And as we age, our max heart rate will come down. Based on any of my clients that I coach, we do a 20-minute aerobic threshold test, right? We can estimate it based on your age, then we'll do a 20-minute test. Basically, come run with me, and we're gonna run as hard until you throw up in 20 minutes if you're an athlete, which they love. And if you're not an athlete, we estimate. But you come run with me, and let's see who throws up first in 20 minutes, and that's our max heart rates, and then we'll calculate from there. So we can have fun with it if they're super intense, but
Oh, that sounds like fun.
this is the piece it depends on their personality, right? This is the piece that's so key. If I just focus on the high intensity, so now we know if I've been able to convince you that HIIT, high intensity interval training, is what's so important, again, it looks nothing like his HIIT. So if I'm coaching my guys, they're here, their interval is the black line, their rest is the blue pad, right? He pushes as hard as he can for 30 seconds, he rests for 90, rinse and repeat. Push, rest, I can have him do 4 or 5 of those, he's still way under 15 minutes. Every time he hits one of these, his testosterone takes a boost. And his cortisol comes down. If she does that, it ruins her life. It brings her cortisol up, it brings her estrogen and testosterone down. She's like, but my boyfriend and I, my husband and I, we go to the gym together, we go mountain bike together. We've been doing the same thing forever, and now I'm gaining weight, I'm injured, he's feeling great. It's because that's his metric, not hers. So she has to get a very different rest recovery cycle. If she's pushing for the same 30-second interval, I'm talking all out, as many watts as she can hit, 30 seconds, she rests for up to 4 minutes in between because I need her to get full oxidative recovery. Then she can do it again, and then she's got to rest. So I give her up to 18 minutes of that, but that's only 4 rounds of it, and then she's done. That's it.
Does that say not cardio under?
Yeah, what is
Not
that?
cardio.
So how can high intervals be not cardio?
Right, so cardio is the 45 minutes on the Stairmaster. So I don't say cardio, I say intervals.
Okay, so it is.
Because when I say
on the
cardio,
treadmill.
it's a cardio day, she's like, oh, Stairmaster? I'm like, please, God, no, like intervals.
Intervals.
So
HIIT, SIT, whatever the intervals are.
85% of your maximum heart rate.
No, she's not really doing heart rate because it's too short. She'll never hit max doing this. We're going for cardiac output and wattage output.
So can you do that at
treadmill or
Totally.
rower or?
Treadmill, rower, bike. I like the bike and the rower. It depends on her sport. If she's a mountain biker, I might have her cross train on the rower or the treadmill in the studio. If she's a runner, I'm never gonna have her on the treadmill in the studio. She's already running way too much. So I'm gonna have her do the bike or the rower.
What are those times again?
So 30 seconds, 4 minutes, 30 seconds, 4 minutes, 30 seconds, 4 minutes. So if my guy's on the bike or the rowing machine, he's clipped in, he's hooked in, 90 seconds isn't enough time to get his ass off the bike and do something. He's gotta sit there and wait for his next interval. But she has 4 minutes, now I got a big window. So if it's a high intensity day anyway, she'll do her 30 seconds, hop off, maybe she does some upper body weight, some stability, some pliability work, her strength training in this 4 minutes, then she hops back on the bike. Her legs have now recovered, she can push the same output, and by the time she's at the 18 to 20 minute mark, her strength and her cardio are done. And then if she's in the gym for 90 minutes, she doesn't have to be, but if she's in the gym for another 60 minutes, she can do whatever she wants. She can talk to guys, she can stretch, she can do yoga, she can do stability training, she can do she can do whatever she wants because now she's got a whole lot of runway without pounding her tissue 45 minutes, 60 minutes, 90 minutes doing traditional cardio.
So that one with 18 minutes, you had some weight training, but that's not the same weight training as the 12 minutes.
It's the same, I'm just cramming it in the gaps.
Oh, okay.
You know, she may not want to do that, she may
So
want to
that was
rest.
18 plus 12.
Yeah, I'm sticking the 12 minutes of weight training, I'm just hiding it in there. Because I got 4 minute blocks each time. So I'm like, all right, hop off, let's go curl, plank, side plank, give me your rotation, okay, back on, back on.
Okay.
And it's bam, 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 and she's done. No matter what she does, whether it's fun or zone 2 or low, this is my bookend principle. She's got to prep and she's got to cool down and recover. So if she's gonna go whatever fun she's doing in the middle, ski, mountain bike, sport, pickleball, whatever she wants to do, she may have 90 minutes to golf, maybe 3 hours budgeted for this activity. I'm like, okay, that's great. You're gonna have to budget an extra 30 minutes because I need 20 minutes beforehand and 10 minutes after. And a lot of my guys with stable hormones can jump right into the sport and they're fine, especially if they're young. For women, more oxidative fibers, less compliability in their tissue as they get older. They really need to warm up to fill those joints with synovial fluid to lubricate their tendons so that they don't run as much risk of injury doing their sport. One, their output goes way up if they warm up appropriately. And two, they reduce injury. So both ways we win. And in the end, she's got to cool down, do her pliability, her stretching, so her tissue can, this, even if it's only 10 minutes, even if it's only 5 minutes, dramatically increases the speed with which her tissue will recover. So then she can go the next day and do another mountain bike ride because she cooled down appropriately. And she wakes up and she's not sore.
What's an appropriate warm-up?
So it looks like a workout, honestly. It would be core activation, stability work, cognitive stabilization training, depending on what her sport is, speed work, plyometrics, depending, if she's gonna go ski, she'll be on the bike for like easy spin for 10 minutes. Then she'll start doing some like tissue loading to get her tendons ready to absorb impact. So she's fully prepped. Maybe she does some weightlifting, very low volume. And then by the time she hits the mountain, her body's ready to absorb impact because she's pre-trained it. She's not tired. There's no fatigue here. She's just sweaty and pumped up and ready to go.
I have to go, but I thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely, thank you for coming. So, all of a sudden now we're starting to have these conversations about how hard we're training our athletes, how much load we're putting them under. Because 3 of the top male NBA players this season all blew their Achilles in the same season. It's never happened before. So now athletic trainers, physiologists, coaches are talking about what are we doing wrong? Are we overloading? Are they doing too much? Are they playing too many games? Is the surface too hard? My girls have had 700% increased risk of ACL rupture and Achilles tear for the last 25 years in all the literature, and no one says a damn thing. Because they're trained like men, coached like men, given men's shoes with smaller sizes and different colors to wear, the equipment's the same, nobody's coached them appropriately or fed them appropriately. And this is what the average female aerobic capacity does over time. Majority of the reason for this, even if she's in top athletic form, top 3% of female athletes in output, she still declines. The majority of that reason is because her hormones fluctuate and nobody coaches her correctly, and all along this way she gets hurt, and finally in middle age, she gets the big injury. The femoral fracture, the ACL tear, the rupture, knee replacement, and then she's inactive and she's going down. And my job as coach is to keep her above the red line of death, which is the minimum aerobic capacity you need to enjoy life, probably VO2 of 26, 28, I mean, whatever the minimum is, so she can hike and run around with her grandkids and run up and down the stairs. Everybody except the fittest in the population of women, they all fall below that line by the time they're in their late 50s. And hormones and training is the majority of the reason for that. But you can also see from this that this is whether you train with a coach, you train on your own, like this is a 40+ year commitment, right? This is a long-term training commitment. If you can get away with bikini boot camp spin class back here, but if you want to try to train that way your whole life, it's just not gonna work. You're gonna send that slope down a lot sooner. So my client Andrea turned 50 last year. She's the most type A driven, like overachiever OCD woman that I've ever worked with. Athletic background, basketball player, volleyball player. She's a couple years older than me, we kind of grew up in this industry together. Is she pissed off and upset a lot of times about what her body's doing and how it's changing? Absolutely. I've trained her through 2 husbands, 3 kids, 4 businesses. She's had a lot of ups and downs in our time together, right? And we become very close friends. Families travel together, love her to death. It was my responsibility, I felt personally, to help guide her through that because no one else was gonna do it. Find her the right doctors, find her the right experts, and not coach her like a dude and ruin her body and beat her up and damage her. So when she came, she bought in, but she's still type A and driven and like obsessive athlete, right? So she comes to me last year and she said, hey, I'm climbing Kilimanjaro for my 50th birthday with my brothers who are 30 years old. I'm like, girl, you got like knee arthritis from way back, like from athletics, you've had ACL repair, you've had 3 bunion surgeries, like this is not a good idea. So what does he ask? He said, I don't give a shit. Are you gonna coach me or somebody else? I will coach you, but I need a runway. I need 9 months. She's like, you can have 12. I was like, okay, 12 months. We're gonna build up. I'll periodize you the entire annual plan. She did it. She made it up there with a little bit of altitude sickness and some GI distress, and that's about it, but no knee pain, no back pain, no disc bulging. Everybody else, all the boys on her trip got hideous injuries, and she was the only one coming out scot-free, which I felt really good about. And needless to say, we had quite a bit of fun along the way. It's not about being draconian and making her do what I have to have her do. It's about working with her and getting a plan that she'll actually buy into. So if I have 4 key things that we really need to stick with from all of this, it's to change the model in our head of what training is appropriate to be, with an absolute extreme focus on high intensity interval training in place of cardio and strength training, especially for the female body. That is absolutely no brainer. This is where you want to get some guidance from a trainer and coach, because if you lift, you have got to lift, and it's got to be heavy to get any outcome as a woman. But if you lift too heavy, you lift the wrong way, you get hurt. So you got to find somebody to guide you through that process.
But just the high intensity training instead of cardio and strength, or high intensity training?
I would say high intensity training is both high intensity cardio and strength. It's all one big show. Just don't get on the Stairmaster for 45 minutes looking at the wall. If you're gonna do cardio for more than 45 minutes, do it on the mountain. Do it having fun, right? Do it in the middle circle, do it having fun, and then we'll worry about the training to balance out you getting to do more of the middle circle. That's the idea. So if you want this to go up, you do these more appropriately. Third is talk to your doc about whether or not you're a good candidate for HRT. Most women are, even if they didn't think they were, and every single one of my women at any age, my 70-year-old included, my 86-year-old, feel way better with some sort of help. So my 86-year-old that had UTI after UTI, the only thing that's not, what do you do when you get a UTI? Most doctors don't even know to give you D-mannose, right? You'll go in, they give you antibiotics. What does that do? Screw up your gastrointestinal system, which women have trouble with anyway, ruin your microbiome, and make it all the more likely that you get what? Another UTI. So she went through cycle after cycle after cycle. We got her vaginal estrogen cream, gone. Totally went away. She's not technically on HRT, she's scared of it, but it solved that problem, which is her biggest risk going forward, having infections.
Does it have to be cream? Because there's other ways to deliver it.
Correct, as long as you're delivering estrogen vaginally and it's not systemic, then it will treat the tissue, the mucosal lining, and all the skin tissue of that area. Both from there are estrogen receptors in the brain, the pelvis, the urethra, the vulva, the muscle, it's all over your body. So, I mean, estrogen is important everywhere, but certainly in the vaginal membrane, absolutely. And the last one is increase your protein intake. I probably don't care how much you're eating now, you probably need to eat more. I know because I need to eat more and I don't get enough, and especially with travel and stress, and before long 4 hours has gone by and you never ate, and this is a big, big change that you can see immediate improvement with. That would be the key. I don't think Dr. Sarah made it, but the Menopause Society website is a great reference. So whenever I'm working with coaching a remote client, especially a female client, for me to help build her team and get her the right female wellness practitioner, I'll go to the Menopause Society, menopause.org. They've got a database of members and approved doctors that are up on all of these techniques, certainly medically. I looked in Ketchum and there's one.
Jenny Steyerman.
Is Steyerman?
It's Jenny Steyerman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is she here?
Yeah, she's
Okay,
in
cool.
St. Luke's.
Okay.
She's the only person.
Okay, because Sarah De La Torre is the only one
I was just
listed
gonna
in
say
Ketchum.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dr.
okay,
Sarah's
so maybe they're two.
Yeah, so she was the only one that they had listed in Ketchum, but it's good to have multiple
Yeah.
resources. So she was super cool. I emailed her. She was gonna try to make it today, but didn't make it. But yeah, that would be a good local resource. So I will always, if I'm coaching someone remotely, I'll usually make contact with the doc. And if the doc won't talk to me, then I know that's probably not a good fit because I really want a team approach. So she emailed me back right away. We had a great phone conversation. So yeah, she's super cool. Sarah is actually the lead medical consultant on Halle Berry's Respin consulting program for menopausal women coaching, fitness, psychotherapy, group work. So very, very cool that you guys have this opportunity right here in town. So that's kind of neat. So this is my email here, sam@longevityclinic.com. This is if anybody's on Substack, this is the Substack that Marcy and I author, where we write in more detail about a lot of this subject matter, post the podcasts that we like, the videos we like to follow, what we're reading now, what we're studying, issues we're having in more and more detail if you want to hash that out. But any of you are free to reach out to me, email me if you've got questions, if you want to find some local support, I'm happy to help. Please don't hesitate. And that's all I have for you. I'm not in a hurry, so if there's other questions, please feel free. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the options for if people want to work with you?
Sure. We work with everybody on an annual consulting basis, so I don't do any hour-to-hour training or coaching. I've got coaches in my studio in Austin to do that. What my wife and I do with annual consulting is we'll put a package together for you to meet, probably over Zoom or when I'm up here working with Ross, and get together and spend a couple of hours looking at all your blood work, all your genetic testing, maybe making a connection with your physician, and helping you come up with a better plan for medical treatment if you need it, and then for the exercise physiology nutritional coaching plan if you don't have it. But all of that kind of works together. So we'll usually set up, a package where you work with us for that 2-hour period, and we'll give you a quarter program to follow. And then if you want ongoing support, we just kind of like work out a quarterly program where we see you usually in person or over Zoom once a quarter with email and text communication between to keep you on plan and kind of go from there. So thank you girls so much for coming out.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it. Sure.
What are your thoughts with that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we didn't really get into peptides just because we had a lot of other stuff to cover. So Ozempic is just like hormone therapy, it's very dose dependent. So I've noticed that my clients who take Ozempic in higher doses from a weight loss standpoint, 2/3 of the weight that you lose on Ozempic is going to be from muscle, and 1/3 is from fat, which is the opposite ratio of if you do it holistically without the peptide. However, for my female clients that are taking hormone replacement therapy and microdosing Ozempic in very, very small doses, we tend to get the anti-inflammatory beneficial effect of that peptide without the muscle wasting and bone wasting. If you take full dose Ozempic and you do it for a long period of time, you're guaranteed osteoporosis. And you're guaranteed weight gain. You're guaranteed weight gain long term because you're flushing your muscle mass.
When I see my friends who take it, they lose their butt right away, stuff like that, and then, so it has to be a balance.
Yeah. And if you lose your butt and you're over 45, it's really, really hard
Yeah, I know,
to get it back. It's hard to get it back. Other than
So
surgery.
you're not totally against it, but.
No.
you
I'm not
use it.
I'm not totally against anything
Yeah.
for my client. Even if she wants to do 45 minutes on the Stairmaster because she loves it, we put it in the fun circle and we work around it. So even the things I really, really don't want her to do, if she's got to do it and it's part of her plan, I'll work with her and hopefully over time convince her that it's just better.
What are your thoughts about water intake?
Up here, you better salt it because you're sweating way more than you think you are. I know that firsthand. Like I'm continuously dehydrated while I'm up here. I wish I drank less wine when I was up here, probably that would help. I noticed that if I shift to white wine exclusively when I'm up here, I feel way better. But being up here on the mountain compared to Austin, if I'm in Austin, I know when I have to drink. Thirsty all the time, I'm soaked all the time, everybody's always sweaty. But I come up here and we run, we ride, we hang out, and I'm never sweating. I'm like, I feel great, I'm not drinking water. And at the end of the day, I'm like peaked, or I'm getting altitude sickness and I don't know why, and it's from hydration. And the more water you drink, the more salt you're gonna need. So you cannot get away being active drinking non-electrolyte water. So whether it's powder or electrolyte water, non-sugar Propel, or just table salt, whatever your mix is absolute, yeah.
But there's so many people that say you can drink too much water and that might deplete a lot of things.
Every time.
Is
So
there a
there's
balance?
never, there,
Is it
yeah, that's why you don't wanna,
thirsty?
that's why, yeah, your thirst sensor is gonna be about 50% accurate. So you'll need to drink more than you think you need to drink. And I don't try to dose salt, I just make sure salt's in my water every time. It's to the point where if I drink flat water, it doesn't taste right to me. If you don't want salt in your water, Ross hates it. I want him to put it in his pack. And he's like, I'm not drinking the fucking ocean. I'm like, fine, so just put salt on your food, whatever, we'll figure it out. So just find a mix. No one ever in the history of mankind has ever died from eating too much salt. Never,
It can
ever,
make
ever.
you sick, right?
You'll get sick, you'll
Yeah.
throw up. People die every year from hyponatremia.
Yeah, but your blood pressure could go up with added salt and everything.
Only if you have kidney disease, right? So salt has nothing to do with your blood pressure, only if your kidneys aren't working properly.
I was dizzy a couple of summers ago, and of course, my first thought was brain tumor.
Absolutely.
Went to see my doctor, he said, oh my God, there's been about 9 people in here in the last 2 weeks with the same problem. You're dehydrated.
Dehydrated.
I said, but I drink so much water. He says, yeah, but you need salt, and he
Gotta have
wrote me a
salt.
prescription for a bag of potato chips.
I'd rather apply it in a slightly different fashion, but I would rather you have the salt than not have the potato chips.
Yeah, no, it was part of our.
Get your avocado oil potato chips and yeah, you'll be good, yeah.
Okay, you were talking about wine, alcohol intake, what is your?
It goes into the 80-20 balance. I love wine, right? I've kind of tapered off of hard liquor and beer over the years, but I just can't give up wine. I love wine, especially when I come up here. Ross is a big enthusiast, and he's always got great wine. I'm like, oh God, bro, you're killing me. But it's part of the whiskey, chocolate, alcohol, fun, 20%. So I never want to take anything exclusively away from anybody. And if they want a little more, or a little less, then we just balance it with their routine. So. Good.
Oh, if you find yourself in the injury phase, how do you attack the inflammation?
Your 3 biggest bets are hormone balance is the non sequitur for all that. If your hormones are out of balance, you'll be continuously inflamed, so that if you get an acute injury, it goes through the roof. But if she's not hormonally balanced, it's my responsibility for diet, exercise, and other lifestyles. So outside of hormones, stress is number 2. So the problem is, women, athletes or not, they get injured, they get really upset, their stress goes up, their cortisol goes up, and they stay inflamed even if they're getting all the right proper treatment. So my physical therapist does a lot of like deep breathing, breath work, meditation, relaxation, yoga as part of his practice just to get women to calm down. I've got a good chiropractor, dry needle friend that has you drink a glass of wine before treatment just to calm down. And I mean, we've seen in the literature continuously how much stress is a factor in injury recovery, from surgery, from cancer recovery, anything. Your perspective and your outlook on how you're gonna get over your cancer, your surgery, your ankle sprain, your tendonitis, matters more than anything I do for you. And then if I can add the pieces of healthy diet, healthy exercise, recovery management, I'm just gonna increase your outcome. Michelle, did you have one that?
Yes. Have you seen 50-year-old women with osteoporosis reverse it, and if so, how?
I've seen 30-year-old women with osteoporosis. I've got a 38-year-old man right now with osteoporosis, and we're seeing this crazy shit for the first time ever. We don't know why. We think some of it's environment, some of it's stress, screen time, probably most of it's diet and compromised nutrition when these people are younger. The big goal forever with osteoporosis was my goal as coach is to attenuate the loss. I didn't see a lot in the literature up until about 4 or 5 years ago that we could reverse it and add density, but I know I can attenuate it and stop it before it's too late if I apply the right loads. Now we're seeing if I load her safely a little more, maybe I weight vest her 5 minutes a week and then we go to 10 and then I go to 15 and then maybe I do 2 days. If I scale her up slowly, a lot of women will see a podcast and put a weight vest on, start walking every day, and then they get a neck injury or a back injury. So then they're back to square one. But if I progress her correctly, if I load her spine and her hips a little heavier, maybe even an unsafe level for me as coach, but that's her biggest risk, so I'll load her a little heavier under supervision, I can add density. Especially if her diet's healthy and she supplements vitamin D, right? You don't get any of it up here 9 months out of the year, you gotta supplement it, but if she supplemented D,
What about other minerals with that vitamin D?
yeah, hopefully she's getting them from food.
Yeah.
It's just hard to get enough vitamin D from food, we just get it from the sun. But she'll have to supplement. If she doesn't methylate, the genetic test will tell me if she methylates. If she doesn't methylate, I gotta get her vitamin B12 too, maybe even all methylated B. So there's some tricks in there that I can manage. But that's all without hormones. Like if she's on hormones, if she's gonna take care of itself, if I train her correctly, if she's not a good candidate for hormones, if she's not comfortable, then it's kind of really challenging for me. It was kind of fun because then it's all on me. It's my pressure to get it fixed.
Sauna versus cold plunge.
Yeah, so both great for women with caveats. Sauna is way better for women.
That's what Cora says. That she says
Sauna is way better for women. Cold plunge is great for women, but you don't go below 55 degrees.
Yeah.
What are most cold plunge? It feels plenty cold to me, but as soon as one of my male clients gets a cold plunge, it's 30 degrees. Well, Dr. Jupiter did it for 30, I'm doing 30 at 30, I'm like, bro, come on. So as long as, if you're gonna get a cold plunge, just hit 2. Like I always tell my guys, if you're not going through menopause with her, you're doing it wrong. So if you need to raise the tank to 58 degrees, for her sake, it's plenty good for you. Plus, a guy cold plunging at 30 versus 50 isn't gonna matter. I was like, bro, I saw you eat potato chips, I saw you drinking a ton of wine, I know you drink beer, like, you wanna fix your body, change that, not your cold plunge. But for her, if she's acutely inflamed, if she's chronically inflammatory, if she's got an injury, if she's not sleeping, the cold plunge can be a very helpful sympathetic nervous system reset, but just don't take it below 55 is what the data tells us. So I keep her at like in the 60s and she feels great.
What if you're a stream dipper and it's colder than that?
It's colder than that.
Just quick is okay?
That's just nature. That's just natural, right? I mean, that's.
But it's so bad.
I mean, I wouldn't do more than maybe 20, 30 seconds at a time, and it just depends. Like if your tissue responds well to it, and you sleep well, there's a big range, right? It may be part of your program. But if she's wanting to do it specifically medically, I'll start her at over 55 degrees, but I'd really rather she do it outside anyway, if she had the opportunity, yeah. Yeah, Scott?
What's the optimal temp for guys?
Doesn't matter. Colder the better. Like a lot of this, right? So if the colder you go, the more growth hormone you'll have. And the colder she goes, the more cortisol she'll have, and that's just the way it goes. It's just shitty evolution, man, bad luck.
So cold showers, you could recommend.
Cold showers are much better, especially up here. You'll get cold up here. Cold showers in Austin are 87 degrees. That's the water temperature on the ground during the summer, so it doesn't count. In the winter, we can get showers down to like in the 60s, but up here you can probably get below 68 year round. So if she tends towards the anxiety side effect of peri and postmenopause, a cold shower on her vagal nerve at the back of her neck for a minute and a half will make a huge world of difference. Huge.
In humor, it says hands and feet.
Yeah, you can do just hands and feet. Or you can do like on your neck, hands and feet out is way more pleasant.
Yeah.
So yeah. I like hitting the vagal nerve because it immediately resets her sympathetic nervous system and she doesn't have to spend as long in the cold water.
How about creatine? I'm seeing that pop up on podcasts.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of that on social media. Creatine is as good for you as you can tolerate. A lot of my women tolerate creatine great. They feel good. Digestively, a lot of women can't. You want to get a product called Clean Creatine. Can't remember the name of the manufacturer. It's on Amazon. It's a black bottle, Clean Creatine. They wash it in water, not acid. That's the one Dr. Sims recommends that we take. Guys have taken creatine for training and muscle development and more energy and more strength for 60 years. We see the best research data now on women and cognitive decline and brain fog. Huge benefit if she can tolerate it. If she can't tolerate it, then I know, well, she's got digestive issues, maybe she needs a probiotic, she's got a microbiome compromised. I want to address that, then I'll give her that creatine supplement, see if she feels better. But I've had women have game-changing experiences taking 3 mg a day of creatine.
Oh, 3
grams a day.
Do you see it affect kidney levels?
Never.
Never.
We've got guys taking like 60, 70 grams of creatine a day. Your body's pretty good at excrete. It's been proven really, really safe. We've taken it so long. If you've got a kidney issue or liver issue or digestive issues, yeah, you can react to it, but for the most part, as supplements go, very, very safe.
And you build up to that, 3 grams per day. I've read.
Start at
something-
3, you can go to 5. I take 5, and I'm 170 pounds, so most women probably don't need 5. My wife tried 2.5 or 3, she doesn't digest it, it cramps her stomach, she doesn't like it, so it's just not part of her plan. Yeah.
But I take it too.
You can put it in a smoothie.
How many grams?
8 grams a day.
Yeah, I mean, if you can handle it, you're more buffed up than I am, good for you. I'm gonna say 5. What's up, Scott?
You mentioned digestion. Did you talk about microbiome and what's your thing on fermented food?
Yeah, we didn't do microbiome and fermented food just because it's like that could be a whole presentation in itself. But yes, if you don't like fermented foods, a daily probiotic is probably a good idea. Does anybody in here not have their appendix?
I would not have it.
Who doesn't have one? I don't have one. You need probiotics every day for the rest of your life, or fermented foods.
I don't have an appendix.
You don't have an appendix. You need probiotics or fermented foods every day for the rest of your life. So do I. Your appendix is how you repopulate your microbiome if you've been sick, if you've had toxic foods, if you've had exposure. Without an appendix, it's really hard to populate your microbiome appropriately. If you're an outdoor athlete, it's a piece of cake. If you own a dog, even better. Outdoor athletes always have dirt and mud and junk in their mouth. It's great because it's full of bacteria. But if you work in your yard a lot, you're good. But in absence of that, like where I live, Austin, clean, sterile, hermetically sealed environment, we either have to take probiotics or eat sauerkraut or fermented pickles or something. Yeah.
Athletic greens, do you have any?
Yeah, I want to eat the vegetables because I want the fiber. I want to eat the berries, I want to eat the greens. If you don't like berries and you don't like greens and you won't eat it, that's the next best thing. I don't want to eat any more supplements than I have to take. So I really try to stay whole foods as much as possible, but
In addition to
I wouldn't see any benefit in addition to probably if you're already eating a healthy diet, right? I would think of it more as a replacement.
Can you list supplements that women our age should be taking?
Yeah, I mean, vitamin D is a big one. Biotin can be a big one for like hair, fingernails, which can reduce some of the loss of connectivity issues in those cells from lower estrogen and progesterone. Magnesium, glycinate if you have slow digestion, cyprinate if you have fast digestion. But magnesium will help relax your nervous system, relax your muscle tissue, and help you sleep. It doesn't do the job that progesterone will do, but it will help.
About 3 and 8 for magnesium.
Magnesium create?
Yeah, 3 and 8.
Magnesium 3 and 8.
Yeah, for brain.
Yeah, I would try and see how your digestion handles it. As long as it's fine, then yeah.
How do you know if you're slow or fast at, like you just said, glycinate versus citrate, was it?
Yeah, do you, like, if you tend to be on the constipated side versus the fast moving digestion side, that's how I would say it's like, if I go several days without a bowel movement, I'm slow, so I would take magnesium glycinate, because that if it speeds up my digestion, it's actually okay. But if I tend towards the diarrhea side or loose stool side, then I'll take the cyprinate or because it's less impactful on my digestive tract. Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
Yeah, Dave.
Go ahead.
Top 3 things that drive inflammation.
Jeez. So many. I mean, yeah. Sugar's
Sugar's
number one.
Is it stress? Is it an unhealthy gut? Is it?
I would say diet. No, because inflammation will cause an unhealthy gut, and then the inflammation gets worse. But sugar's number one.
Sugar.
Right? Sugar, processed carbohydrate. I always say diet, but sugar's probably the big
fast
culprit.
carbs.
Fast carbs
will drive inflammation.
The more processed it is, the more inflammatory it is.
And stress.
Stress is a close second.
Okay, close second. And then,
yeah, one stress will affect sleep, and then it all kind of compounds. It's all interrelated, but the big one is sugar in your food. And if you're not eating any sugar and you're eating perfectly clean, well-balanced 80-20 diet, and you still have inflammation, it's probably because you're stressed. It might be because you're stressed about the amount of inflammation you have. So.
And the big tell for if I am inflamed is
you really know in your blood work, your cytokines, your histamines, your homeocysteine. It will show up in your blood work.
But I can't wake up and go, oh, I'm inflamed.
I mean, if you have rosacea, red skin, blotchy skin, complexion,
So it's a blood test thing that needs.
Blood test is the confirmation for the medical diagnosis. But if somebody comes in the room and they have a beer belly and they have red skin, I know they're inflamed. So if she tells me that she's got swollen joints and she can't heal and she's doesn't recover, she doesn't sleep well, I know she's inflamed.
I mean, I keep hearing that word in like conversations from every angle as being a driver of so much stuff that's bad in life. And so it seems like foundationally that's something that needs to be addressed, you know, just right off the bat, you know.
And that's the thing, if she comes into me and she's already inflamed from any of those reasons, diet, stress, which is usually the case, if I pound her in the gym, I'm just gonna make her inflammation worse, and that's the key. If I train her appropriately, it'll bring her cortisol and her inflammation down, but if another coach pounds her and she's super fit and he pushes her to the max, she's gonna break at some point because her inflammation is gonna stay high and she's gonna get a really bad outcome. She might win a few events and feel great for a few weeks, and if she's an athlete, she can push through it, but I'm looking at a 40-year time horizon, so I'm trying to play the long game with what she's doing right now.
But so you said sugar and stress can be emotional or physical. Physical being driven by too much exercise.
Stress can be good.
Right.
Stress can be good stress. It can be a job you love, but you do it 60 hours a week and you're already over threshold. Or 3 grandkids that you see for a week and you love them, but dude, they drive you crazy and your stress is high and you're inflamed. So all stress accumulates in your body. Once you're over a threshold of about 60 hours a week, all the literature says that's about our limit, male or female. 60 hours a week and over, I've got clients that work 60 hours a week. So, or exercise 60 hours a week, so they're already at threshold. And then it's my job to come up with something else for them and not make it worse. So that's the challenge.
But you're saying there's a blood test for inflammation?
Yeah, what would you,
Several.
what blood test would you ask?
Homeocysteine, cytokines, like you'll have
But what would you ask your doctor if I called mine and said, hey, I wanna get a blood test to see if I.
C-reactive protein, say, hey, I want the inflammatory panel. Just ask for the inflammatory panel and they'll give it to you. Is anybody taking a statin? You can take statins, okay, get a sterol test, get a desmosterol test, so you make sure that the statin hasn't driven the cholesterol in your brain down. That's our number one risk factor for women on statins as they age is Alzheimer's. So you don't want high cholesterol and you don't want stinky blood, but you want Alzheimer's even less. So definitely get a desmosterol test.
What are your thoughts on dairy?
My wife loves dairy, I hate it. I don't digest it well, doesn't sit well with my system. She loves it, she feels great, so it's just depends. I mean, I would want it as natural and high fat as possible. No 2%, no low fat. If you're gonna have cream in your coffee, heavy cream, whipping cream. Half and half is okay, but I would prefer whipping cream. Try it, it'll change your life, it's great.
Why?
Because I want as much fat as possible and as little processing as possible. If you drink,
You don't want any protein out of the dairy?
not out of the dairy. I mean, if it's regular yogurt or milk, there's protein in it, but there's no protein in coffee cream anyway. There's just reducing fat and increasing sugar. So for coffee cream, heavy fat. And if they like dairy yogurt, or kefir, that's a great source of probiotics, so absolutely. Not Yoplait fruit on the bottom, high sugar yogurt, but.
So Greek yogurt that only has the one
Fage or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, that's still not low fat, even though it's not.
Not low fat, no. Because they take the fat out, the only way it tastes good is they add sugar to it.
But there's no sugar listed on there. Even it's so bad?
Whole food plain yogurt, you mean?
Yeah, like if they've reduced the fat, they've usually manipulated somehow, and they may not call it sugar, they may call it like dextrose or maltodextrin.
Well, isn't it about like the 2% versus 0% versus regular or whatever? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
2%.
So you're saying you want full fat?
I want to eat as much fat as possible.
Yeah.
So in yogurts, cottage cheeses.
High fat. And the more fat she eats, the more sated she will be, the less carbohydrate she will crave. So if I can feed her with fat and protein, she's gonna have a much better outcome.
Cheese sticks are good. Do you like cheese sticks?
Cheese sticks are fine. I haven't eaten them since I was 6, but they're great. They're convenient. They're easy. They're portable and palatable if you're like hiking or biking. You take it with you.
You need
Totally.
quick protein after.
Much rather you eat that than like a Cliff Bar or potato chips or something like that. Yeah.
And the meat, the beef jerkies, the healthy ones that are 100%.
Sure. Yeah.
So Sam, probably you want to wind up?
I think we're good. I'm hanging out for a bit. If you got any other
Thank you.
personal questions, feel free. But thank everybody for coming so much. I appreciate it. So, yeah.